Hello, and welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Acts, and we are with the suggestion selections again, as we are hitting our first bit of radio rock with Alter Bridge and Blackbird. Um, we were mentioning off screen you had no idea who Alter Bridge were, and then I reminded you that they do one of the wrestling themes, and you're like, "Oh, I know that
Yeah,
song."
yeah, yeah.
Best known for doing Edge's song, Metalingus.
Banger. Great wrestling theme tune.
Yes.
Yeah, I was saying that I feel like they're of a certain kind of time period where it just wasn't getting in my eye line, stuff like this. So there's probably a load of other bands from this time which I think people would probably be like, "Wow, how do you not know them?" And again, a lot of the band names, yes, but just not actually listening to any of the music. I was, God knows what I was listening to at this point, but I'd probably given up on new music. I think I've been bitten too hard by too many bad albums at this point. Now I was just like, nope, I'm listening to things that I like over and over again, and I'll have no more said about it. And then I continued that for about 20 years until we started doing this.
So these were very big. They're fucking huge in the States, but sort of big over here in that sort of classic rock sort of. You listen to some new metal or things to get your feet wet with Linkin Park and things like that when you were young, and went, "Oh, I quite like a guitar," and I hate Nickelback, so I'll go with something
Which,
heavier.
rightfully so, because everyone hates Nickelback. Would I have heard any of their songs on a Dawson's Creek, for example?
I don't know. 'Cause I never watched a Dawson's Creek. What is a
Oh
Dawson's
God,
Creek?
you absolutely suck. They're one of the greatest TV shows ever made. Probably the best teen drama ever made. Yeah, in my head, these sort of bands would have been playing in the background probably, or in truly emotional scenes of shows like that. But I guess I'll find out when I listen to this to see whether um, my impression is totally wrong. And also just for this one, you know who you are. Sorry it took so long, and sorry my memory's so bad. But here it is for you.
So, shall we get our Alter Bridge on?
Yes, I've got lyrics up, I've got the video up, and if you see me slightly distracted at any point, I am going to Google whether they're in Dawson's Creek. Right, let's go.
The willow, it weeps today. A breeze from the distance is calling your name. Unfurl your black wings and wait. Across the horizon, it's coming to sweep you away. It's coming to sweep you away. sunbirds to fly long before they've seen their day. Long before they've seen their day. Let the wind carry you home. Blackbird, fly away. May you never be broken again. Beyond the suffering you've known, I hope you find your way. May you never be broken Soon may you find no resistance. Know that you made such a difference, and all you leave behind will live till the end. The cycle of suffering goes on, but the memories of you stay strong. Someday I too will fly and find you again.
Blackbird. I was going to do a Blackbird call then, but I don't know what noise Blackbirds make.
And I'm not one for bird call. I can't help you with that one.
Caca! Caca! It's the noise all birds make. What do you think of Blackbird?
See, I love Miles Kennedy as a singer. I love Mark Tremonti as a guitarist. But there are sometimes between the two of them that is like you don't need to go off on epicness just for the sake of epicness, and this is one of the ones that does suffer from one too many solos, one too many sort of bits where it's just like, yeah, you can play, but it doesn't have to be on every song that you put the extra in just for the sake of putting it in.
Some of that epic quality, I think, is there in the lyrics. You know, I think that the kind of subject matter and the gravitas they're trying to go for, I think, is there in that. But I think I do kind of agree with you that it didn't always come across in the song, or oft felt forced.
Yeah,
And I feel like there's, without getting to start giving it kicking straight away, I feel like there's a better song within this. Yeah, because there's some bits I really like. Certainly the intro, about the first sort of minute to 90 seconds. I thought, I'm a believer, baby. I do not like the vocal performance though. I'm going to go out on that. I'm going to go, not for me. It sounded like, and I think sometimes musically for me as well, it sounded like a, oh, get ready for me to get whomped in the comments, a poor man's Alice in Chains. To me, that's what it felt like at parts, and I love Alice in Chains, and I don't want the poor man's version. It made me want to go and listen to Alice in Chains songs. And again, like, obviously he's got talent, but I felt like a vocal performance always felt forced. So rather than it getting across the emotion of the subject matter, it felt like, I don't know, like if I deliver it this way, it will seem really emotional, won't it? And I think it probably does come across to a lot of people like that. But yeah, it just felt disingenuous to me. But as I said, that might have just been a bit me. But yeah, as much as I think I didn't hate it.
yeah.
I just think it kind of sits somewhere in the middle, but with ideas that it's not in the middle, which probably drags it down further than the middle for me.
Yeah, it's the thing. It's like they can do, because I have said, as I was saying to you before we recorded, I've seen them live a couple of times. Because usually they're for UK festivals, they'll be second or third from the top. So normally I'm sort of catching the back end of them because I want to see the band who are on after. And they can do stompers, and they can do heavy, and they can do epic well. You know, Metalingus is an epic
Yeah.
song. So they can do it, and they can do it really well when they're really good. But for me, with Altbridge, they are really hit and miss for me. And this is one of the ones that misses. But there is an, as I said, the key components and everything they have, they are really good at what they do.
Yeah.
Tremonti does his own solo stuff, and it's fucking amazing.
Well, as I say, I was a bigger fan of Tremonti's guitar, and I really was stood out like more for me of I guess the two bigger, broader elements of it. I would happily listen to more of his guitar, and as I say, I'd be quite interested to listen to some other stuff, because as I say, Metalingus I love, this not so much, and I wonder like whether it bridges a gap. And I just want to go back to when I said poor man's Alice in Chains. I take that back to a degree. I'd say watered down. And I'd say a lot of this felt like watered down stuff that I was hearing close to a decade before it. And I guess I don't really want to hear maybe a more, and I say more modern. This is quite old now at this point, but a kind of a more modern but watered down version of some of that stuff that I really loved, and yeah, I guess that's closer to what I meant rather than like a poor man's version.
Yeah. But yeah, it's this stuff. Because I'm not the target audience for this sort of thing. I'm not the one listening to radio rock. Um, to that sort of thing is I like my shit heavier. But for all of the radio rock bands that were around this sort of time and still sort of crack stuff out, Alter Bridge are the best of the bunch. But yeah, it said for me, I either like it or I don't. There is no
What
very little middle ground.
what other bands would you say kind of were around at the time doing the same sort of stuff, just to help me kind of fill in the
So
blanks in my head of
you had things like Five Finger Death Punch,
yeah.
Blackstone Cherry, Monster Truck. Um, it was just like a load of sort of very
And again,
Seven Dust.
all bands. Seven Dust. Did they do Jericho's theme tune?
Think so, yeah.
Well, there you go. Wrestling theme tunes. That's yeah, all bands that I just kind of wasn't in my eye line at the time, or in my ear holes. Probably is closer to the truth. And yeah, maybe an error that doesn't resonate massively with me. But again, sometimes it's when it finds you, isn't it? And I think we had like you go back to like kind of the grunge years, which effectively was radio rock for our generation, and people will probably would want to destroy for that people who live for it. But like I think you can look back at it now with those eyes of going. At the time, I probably thought how edgy and cool I was, but I look at it now and go, no, like a lot of this is really radio friendly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think sort of coming out the back end of that, yeah, hammering home at my point. But I guess this just feels like the next generation. So the kids that grew up liking that
Listening
stuff,
to
yeah.
grunge.
And I don't know, it doesn't feel like it takes it anywhere. When I say new, but new and interesting. Yeah, it feels like a lighter, more pleasant version even than that. I said earlier, were they in the soundtrack of Dawson's Creek? They weren't. However, one of their songs was in the soundtrack for the Fantastic Four movie, and one of the songs was in the soundtrack for the Elektra movie, two of the worst superhero movies made of all time. So, make of that what you will.
So, as always, what do you think down there in the comments? Suggestions, things like that, we will put them in our giant list.
Any other bands that did wrestling theme tunes that you think would like any of their other stuff? Because generally I know them for their wrestling theme tune, and that's it.
But no Fozzy. As always,
Whoa. When you say no Fozzy, Jericho's current theme tune's an absolute banger.
I can't speak too badly about Fozzy. I've seen them live multiple times because he played Norwich loads. As always, YouTube things like subscribing, ring the bell, and until next time, goodbye.